So during a segment on Fox News over this past weekend, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, of course, implored the United States Supreme Court to save Donald Trump. But Mike Johnson is Mike Johnson, right? He hasn't even been Speaker of the House for a full year. Prior to that, most of this country had no idea who this guy is. So Donald Trump decided that Mike Johnson's call for the Supreme Court to help him was not good enough. So Trump then got on social media and begged the Supreme Court to step in, saying this: "The sentencing for not having done anything wrong will be, conveniently for the fascists, 4 days before the Republican National Convention. A radical left Soros-backed DA who ran on a platform of 'I will get Trump,' reporting to an acting local judge appointed by the Democrats who is highly conflicted, will make a decision which will determine the future of our nation. The United States Supreme Court must decide." And of course, the words "must decide" were in all caps. So he's not asking them like Mike Johnson did. Mike Johnson was like, these judges are probably going to step in and do something. And Trump says, "Oh, no. You're not probably going to step in. You must decide." And to that, I have one very important question there, Donald. Decide what? Decide to move the sentencing date up? I mean, right? Is that what you're asking? Decide to hear an appeal that hasn't even been filed yet, as far as I can see? I don't know what you're asking them to decide, but get this, the Supreme Court can't just do things, right? I mean, Congress can do things. They can take a blank piece of paper, turn it into a piece of legislation that passes and affects the lives of everybody in this country. The Supreme Court, thank God, cannot do that. The Supreme Court has to wait for things to come to them. So once a thing comes to them, they make the decision to either hear a case about it or not hear a case about it. So you have to give them something, and then you have to present a legal argument of why you're presenting them with the something, and then they can decide on it. If the Supreme Court were to come out today and say, nope, Trump can't be sentenced, guess what? That actually holds no legal bearing in this country whatsoever. So again, Donald, go ahead and, ask them to do it all you want. They can't do anything until an appeal gets to them. And by that point, you could be sitting in a New York State jail. So, there's that. But let's be real here. The Supreme Court probably will eventually get this case because Trump is going to appeal it. And when he loses on appeal, he's going to appeal that. And if the state loses upon appeal, they're going to appeal it. This will end up in front of that conservative majority U.S. Supreme Court. But that could be a year away. That could be 2 years away, right? We don't know how quickly that process is going to go. But it is pretty much assumed at this point that the appellate process before the Supreme Court probably not going to go in Donald Trump's favor. So, we've got that. And by the way, Donald, scheduling the sentencing hearing 4 days before the convention is actually a benefit for the Republican Party because they would have 4 days at that point to change the rules so that the delegates could vote for somebody else. Because right now, I hope everybody remembers, I talked about this a while ago, the RNC passed a rule following the 2016 convention that says that only the winner of the state is allowed to get the delegate votes. If a delegate votes for somebody that did not win, then that vote does not count. So the Republican Party kneecapped themselves by preventing them from being able to nominate somebody that didn't win the contest. That's in their rules. But if Trump is sentenced on the 11th, 4 days later we have the convention, they can get together, change the rules, and say, hey, delegates, I don't know if you heard, but this guy's going to jail or he's going to be on house arrest for the next 2 years. Vote for whoever you want. They have the authority to change the rules, and Judge Merchan was gracious enough to give them some time to do it. But also, just for Donald Trump's reference here, that sentencing date could help you or hurt you, right? If you get a small sentence, then great. You don't have to worry about being locked up by the time the election rolls around. But there's another part of it too. if you continue to run your mouth, if you continue to not show remorse for what you've been convicted of, that's going to make the sentencing that much harder, according to the legal experts. So Mershon did you another favor by not scheduling a sentence hearing, 4 months down the road, giving you 4 months to be a jackass. He's only giving you 1 month. So that could work in your favor, but so could shutting up. But we all know that you're completely incapable of ever doing that. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.